Let's get into the physical aspect a little bit of high register playing. If you've ever talked to a trumpet player, they'll tell you that there's a certain spot on their lip where they can hit all their notes. And if their mouthpiece isn't on that spot or around that spot, the spot tends to travel around a little bit, they're not going to have the dexterity and high note proficiency that they would usually have. For tuba, it's different because the mouthpiece covers your whole mouth. I'll give you an example here as I have my trumpet right here, and I'll take out my trumpet mouthpiece. As you can see, both Giddings and Webster here, a tuba and a trumpet mouthpiece, and you can see here the difference in size. Now the tuba mouthpiece covers your whole mouth, or most of it, I would say. Now I have thinner lips, so it's different for different people. But for me, it covers most of my mouth. But my trumpet mouthpiece here, I kind of have to find a spot. Now my spot for the trumpet, turns out, is on the right side a little bit and sort of over to the side, which is interesting. It took me a while. I learned trumpet later in life. It took me a while to find that spot. My spot is kind of here, and it's kind of bent over a little. And that's the same spot, it turns out, that I use in my high register tuba playing. I didn't really notice that until I began to play trumpet. So I find that spot with my trumpet mouthpiece here. And I can just go real high, you know. Of course, if you just really get sick of trying to play high on the tuba, you can always just get a trumpet and then learn how to play trumpet. But forget about that for now. It's a bit squeaky on the ear. Okay? So, back to the tuba. That spot that you heard me hit on the trumpet right there, that spot you heard me hit, is the same spot that I have on the tuba. So, experimenting with mouthpiece placement might not be a good idea so much as experimenting with mouthpieces, which I highly recommend whoever gets a chance. Find the right mouthpiece for you. That always might be part of the problem. But that spot, meaning there's a feel to playing high, and it's not a strenuous thing to do. There's a comfort spot that you will find if you practice and you have the patience to really look for that spot and look to where you can play it the best. So when we're looking for that comfort spot on the tuba, it's not quite as dramatic because you can't really see it like when you're playing on a trumpet. You can really feel and see that it's here or there or there or here. On the tuba, it's just in the mouthpiece, so you more have to feel that spot. But feel around on the mouthpiece so that you can, when you tighten up, you can sort of feel where the high notes come from. Of course, that's ridiculous, but really, once you hit that spot, I mean, the sky is the limit. Another thing I recommend to help your high register playing is a good warm down. Now, I talked about the warm up, but the warm down is almost as important, especially when you're trying to build your lip and build your armature muscles to be able to play high. What you want to do is you want to find something that's low and something that's slow. And you want to play it loud. You want to play it proud. No, I'm kidding. But you want to play something that's low and slow, and you want to play it as loud as you can. And you want to crescendo through everything. And you're going to take a ton of breaths. You might even play 2 or 3 notes at a time before you have to take breaths because you're playing so loud as you can without breaking the sound. Now play through that, maybe a 4 or 5 minute piece, really slow and really loud before you're done for the day. And you're going to feel a tingling in your lip. It's the kind of tingling you feel if you've taken a week off or something and you haven't played for a while and you start playing. But if you get that every single day, you're going to be building up those muscles to be able to hit those high notes. Also, if you puff your cheeks, you're in trouble. Tubists who puff their cheeks and have their lips inside the mouthpiece, it's a common problem. I had that problem when I was young, and I had to do a complete embouchure change. But if you puff your lips and you, as some tubists do, they kind of puff out the sides of their lips, and their lips sort of stick out into the mouthpiece, no good. You're never going to play high. You're never going to get the control. Your lips have to be together, and they have to buzz just like they would on a trumpet or a trombone or a horn or any other horn. Not with the cheeks puffed out and with this relaxed embouchure. Then you're only going to play, and that might very well be your problem. It's a very big problem for most tubists, because a lot of tubists get into that habit when they start out, because it's very difficult to play low notes without puffing your cheeks and relaxing your whole lip. And so they'll get into that habit, but then of course it'll come back and nip them when they want to play high notes, because it just becomes very difficult to do so if you're puffing out the cheeks and relaxing your lip. So you really do have to have a tight feel on the sides here. So, and something that will help with that is that strong warm down. And the other thing I recommend is playing around with recordings. Find some jazz recordings you really like, with some trumpet players, some trombone players you really like. Put them on and just improvise to it. You're not going to sound so good at first. You might never sound so good, but you're going to be able to hear the tones, and when you hear that, you can go for it. Match the trumpet player's sound. You know, when they're playing in their middle range, their lower range, you take that tuba and you fly up to those ranges and you match that sound. And you'll be surprised at the notes you hit when you're listening for it. A lot of times we don't hit the high notes and we have trouble in the high register because we don't really hear it in our head, as I said before. So I'm going to stop for now. I hope that's been helpful.